Hello people, this is Ryder here to review the Kamen Rider Revice DX Vistamp Selection 04. So this is the fourth and final main numbered Vistamp selection set, as this was just we need to tie something to the movie. So here we have the Vistamps that were tied to the Chimera Riders for the most part. And because of that, we just have Revice and Vice right there. Obviously, no forms correlated. We have King Crab, Octopus, Obukage, and Kurosai. And then obviously we have the four of them up here. So it is definitely interesting that they went with 4 stamps with 0, 4. That's pretty interesting. So it seems like they're advertising King Crab for the most part. Warnings and cautions and such. And then just a picture of all of the riders they represent, because they literally don't have anything to put on this box. So now it's not really consistent, but I mean, this is a new box format, so I guess it makes its own original formatting. So here are the Vice stamps out of the box. We will go with them in order of, not appearance, just order of promotion. So here we have King Crab, which is the ladder animal of Twin Chimera. If you're wondering about Crocodile, that was a general movie ticket item for Battle Familia. But for some reason, despite being a general movie ticket item, it's expensive. So, obviously, because these are all Heisei riders, or technically Revice Vistamps, they are the blue marbling, to which this set is the best of the blue marbling. It's very vibrant. It's actually present. It doesn't feel splotched on. It's pretty nice. QR code for gum rising. Honestly, I think out of the set though, this one's probably the worst one, just because it's not really present here and such, but it's still pretty good. The stamp, obviously the King Crab with it being silver, and I really like the back deep translucent blue with Blade. Blade is one of my favorite Heisei Phase 1 riders, so it's really nice to see him there being proportionally sized. Obviously, these are standard Vice stamps, so they only have 2 sounds. Blue LED. Next up, Octopus. Again, the blue marbling is really great. I like the color scheme of this Vice stamp overall. There's the stamp. Definitely interesting. QR code for gum rising. This one is definitely, again, a really nice color scheme. It's just really refreshing, definitely, because it's Drive. Drive typically always gets red and black, but since Saber, they've been trying to change it up, and I really like this. I really like how they substituted basically the silver for white. This really nice white with the red octopus and such. And then obviously we got Drive at the back. I really like this white base, because when you look, like when we activate it, we get a red LED. But I love how much the LED shines. Let me just turn off both lights. That looks great. Like yeah, you get like this, but like look at that. Like, wow. Like, that comes out so well, honestly. Then we have Obukage, or Centipede. I apologize if I'm constantly pronouncing it wrong. I'm just kind of like, I guess, doing it by ear. QR code for gum rising. The stamp. This one's definitely interesting color scheme wise because the centipede is blue, but this is also a really nice shade of red that they chose. It's more like a maroon and such, and obviously we got Kabuto in the back and such. It's a really nice color scheme and really unique overall. Okage. And just another red LED. Last but not least, we have Kurosai, or Black Rhino. Again, just really nice marbling overall. Stamp. QR code for Gomba Rising. Obviously, I really like the Black Rhino, or the Rhino actually being black, and then Ghost in the back, or Ghost being covered. Yeah, this is a white LED. You can't see it because obviously the Rhino is covering it, but it's really neat. So, before the battery dies. We will use the Juuga driver first because of Octopus. I think it's really weird, this belt. It seems like when it's not really in usage, like the lights seem normal, but then when the more you use it, the more it dies out or dims out. Obviously, Octopus gave you the Octopus Full Throttle Edge for attack. Obukage Clock Attack. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. King Crab's the only one I can't catch. I'm hearing... Is it supposed to be lightning? Because I think lightning makes sense, but I don't hear lightning. And the Kurosai Omega Attack. And then I'll only do one of these in here because actually I think we have to do two of them because we have to show off. Obviously, as you can tell, basically after throwing the Vistamps, I finally fixed the background. But, yeah. So, again, just pretend you did not hear them previously. So as you can tell, despite this being blue, it emits red. This is honestly the only time I'll excuse red. And honestly, I really like this jingle a lot. It does, like, I think sound-wise, it's supposed to be more of like it's definitely a unique take on like blade insert music. Because I assume this one's actually trying to mimic the music from Blade. 'Cause I know sometimes they're not trying to, but. This one didn't show up well. This one is alright. Again, I like how it shines through. Kind of annoyed it emits red. I would have liked probably yellow or white. But obviously with this one, I forgot to say, like, this one, like, I think this one's kind of like on the nose. Like, that's the thing. I would just say a lot of these ones are a bit on the nose about its reference. Oh, I mean, not really. This one and Obikage definitely are, because this one like literally brings up a term from Blade, like category king and such. But this one's pretty standard with like the Revice ones, of just like twisting like the like signature phrase of that writer. Like that water splash. I really like this octopus. It looks like a pea shooter. Well, so I really like how this one emits purple, but I'll probably say this one's probably the worst one in the stamp pad. And yeah, I really like the jingle for this one a lot. This one definitely is trying to mimic Kabuto's, like the sound of like the Kabuto inserts and such. And typically, I would complain a lot with this one because of how in your face it is about, hey, this is supposed to be Kabuto. But honestly, the instrumentals are gonna make me a hypocrite. I still don't like the 100 Rider kick. That's probably my least favorite thing because, again, it's too on the nose about it. But other than that, this one's fantastic. That was barely a sound. Come on. Alright. Last but not least. Again, a really solid one too. And again, just like drives, I like how they twist the Bachi and Mina. And I like that they took Bachi and Mina instead of like, you know, Takuru's signature phrase. Again, I feel like this one didn't really come out as well because again, for this set, I have a hard time getting the edges in. But other than that, I really do like that they went with a white LED. I think it got stuck within this peg. Jeez, okay. See, I feel like we're actually filming a bit too far, but... Obviously, they don't do anything unique. We're only gonna do 2. Yeah. Say no to red LEDs. We're actually bringing back restyling. I can see her gain skates. Loveco becomes bladed roller skates. Well, I mean, that would technically just be a roller blade. But yeah, just be roller, I guess a roller blade. So I think I made it to an issue to myself then that within the reviews I can't like, mix around which item goes what just because I'm talking and obviously because of which stamps I use. Or it's because we're using a set, so because in the demo it's going to be all flipped flopped around, but in here it's not. These Vice stamps are really well timed within both drivers. Alright. So there we have a regular colored crab. That taco does not look great. That looks more like a shrimp. I get it. There's no, like, if it was the vision driver, it'd only be the eye. Because if you're like, look guys, this is an actual black rhino. Because you can't see it. Because we're just, you know, we're too lazy to actually put in the LED. Gotta wait for the sound. You can see they're animated differently, but they're not colored differently. I think we actually did this one wrong. We didn't do the veil driver first. If you want the veil driver, watch the demo. I don't feel like switching modes. We only show one. Okay, yeah, this just worked out. I typically rearrange the Vice stamps, but I don't know, this time around I'm just keeping them in one centralized area for some reason. I think this is dying. I can't grab it for some reason. Alright. Overall, this Vistamp set is definitely the most impressive of the Vistamp selections, just because it is, like, I mean, I guess it's easily just because it's just 4 Vistamps, so it's like, oh wow, you get, like, one more, as the camera decided to do that. And, like, it's on par with, you know, sets 1 and 2, definitely, which isn't bad. It's probably what you would have wanted. Like, I like that these are just standard Vistamps and such, and it is definitely interesting that they decided to basically commercialize non-canon Vistamps, because it wasn't until Juuga versus Orteca that the Octopus Vistamp actually showed up. King Crab, Obikage, and Kurosai don't exist. To which, obviously, I guess for the sake of Juuga vs. Orteca, you're going to have to get this set for Octopus. To which, you know, it's at least cool that one of these Vistamps at least has a usage. Because it's like, that's kind of the thing with this set, is just like, okay, it was made to tie into, you know, it's still right here, you know, the Twin Chimera and Tri Chimera Vistamps. So it was just like, you know, basically these were the land, or what's the word? Like, these were the land, like, you know, it's like, oh look, like, these are the 3 Vistamps that made Tri Chimera, and then, like, here's one half of a Vistamp that made Twin Chimera and such. Like, it is nice that it's a way to, like, actually properly get these Vistamps and such, and, like, obviously just a way for us to actually get more screens within the Demon's Driver, because obviously we knew about these beforehand, we just didn't know what writers they were going to be. To which, I don't think people were complaining about necessarily, but a lot of people, I mean, I think most people were just kind of flabbergasted by the Ryder choices of these. Because, like, obviously people were like, well, why the heck is Drive an octopus? And why is Kabuto not a Kabuto beetle? And it's just like, because I think, like, the only ones people were actually complimenting were, like, King Crab and Kurosai, because it's like, oh yeah, those ones work, but not these two, which I'm like, do you people not have, like, a creative mindset? like, people really wanted Kabuto to be a Kabuto beetle. We're not dealing with the stupidity of... We're not dealing with this stupidity of laziness ever again within this series. This is still the most baffling choice ever. This could have been a giraffe, but they were too lazy and like, well, 01, it has to be another grasshopper, because we can't think of anything. So it's just like, I think for what these writers ended up becoming was the best. Like, because I rather prefer the choices be, like, diverting our expectations. Like, the thing is that at least Kabuto is still an insect. Well, I mean, a centipede's not an insect, but he's still a bug of some kind. It's not like they made Kabuto, like, a bird. I feel like that's what most people are, like, acting. And, like, obviously octopuses are pretty fast, so it goes along with Drive's motif of speed. And, like, obviously with King Crab obviously going along with the king and stuff, and obviously Kurosai because the horn going with the horn of Ghost. Like, these ones are, like, the most, like, deliberately, like, obvious, like, choices, which I kind of would have preferred if they were just more random. But it's just like, at least there's some correlation, unlike, you know, the ones within, like, the core 10. But honestly, I feel like people are blown out of proportion of, like, oh, this is preposterous of these choices. Because it's just like, we've had so much gimmicks of, like, we had so much of the, like, legendary gimmicks of, like, the item trying to correlate to the writer. So I just like that, like, again, that's the one thing I compliment with, like, Revice. Like, they're at least trying to make it not work. Like, that's why I still think Kangaroo's just the best. Because you're not gonna, like, again, it's not in your face about the fact that it's build. Like, because again, I've said this before, the Vistamps have an issue of being a very subtle reference to, hey, Please believe I am X. I'm supposed to represent X Ryder. Why are you overheating? But besides that, like, this is a really solid set overall. I think I got this off of Mandarake for like $45, which is pretty solid for Vistamps, obviously, because you had to do 15 times 4 and such. I like, again, I can definitely get that this set, it could not be desirable because it has no canon usage until, again, Octopus. But obviously Octopus has another pairing of Vistamps that have yet to be released. And obviously there are other Vistamps that have not been released, so I'm wondering if they're going to do a Vistamp Selection 05 and put those 5 Vistamps together. It will definitely be interesting, but I don't know, probably in the next year and a half or so, because, you know, they've been recently going back to gimmicks. But yeah, like, again, I've already said before, like, despite how too in your face this one's definitely my favorite, just aesthetically and sound wise. Well, I mean, aesthetically, like, I like the color, I like the base of it, but I think, again, Octopus, I don't know, it's weird, because I think I like the sounds for, like, these 3, but I like Octopus aesthetically. I think Octopus is definitely the weakest in sounds. But it, you know, again, it's important because it's one of the very few Vistamps that George actually uses in the Juuga driver. Which is why I'm kind of conflicted on whether or not to credit this under Juuga vs. Orteca, because it technically is from that. But not really. Again, I'm sorry for constantly going back to that, but again, it's really up to you. It's up to whether or not, like, this is mainly, like, I guess for the most part, it's mainly for the Juuga driver, just because you get, like, more riders out of it. So it's just, like, whether or not you want to actually have more sounds within the Juuga driver, or you want more screens for your Demons, Veil, and Deathstream driver, or you just want some decent Revice driver sounds, or if you actually want some pretty good timing within the Weekend driver and Libra driver. Two-side driver kind of sadly exists, but I mean, I don't know, I feel like that one could have had more of a more elaborate gimmick than just, hey, we're just doing the genome change thing again, but we're not actually going to do it. This video is too long.